welcome back. Today we're looking at the Rolling Thunder with two Lightning rockets. Uh, the Rolling Thunder was first released in the United States in 1988, included the driver Armadillo. The Rolling Thunder was also available in 1989, and unfortunately, it was discontinued in 1990. So we do have a nice version one of Armadillo here, and he was exclusively sold with the Armadillo or with the Rolling Thunder. I'm sorry. Okay, so yojo.com, which is where we normally go for all of our pictures and how we start this. We do have some nice pictures here, a wonderful front view and a rear view, and then we start getting our side views and so on and so forth. Um, it's an interesting vehicle because to me, the front looks like a early stylized version of what the Hemet is, produced by Oshkosh Truck, and to have the essentially tank cannon, the M1 Abrams tank cannon on the top there. Now, on the schematic itself, it says it's a 90 millimeter, which puts it just a little bit bigger than what we have on the HISS tank. Um, what I had kind of done here, and we'll see in our stats, is I kind of upgraded it a little bit. So there's some things changed on here, and some things trying to keep it as close to the flavor of this as I can, and just kind of going from that point. Um, Really, the biggest thing is this is meant for two big cluster missile bomb carriers, or cluster bomb missile carriers, I guess would be the appropriate way to truly call this. Um, it's a vehicle that we've seen in like Russia and China and all that, where they'll have these big vehicles just carrying the two missiles, and either they're ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, or just long range big old missiles for one reason or another. And that's what we really have here. But then we also have um, essentially an Abrams turret on the vehicle as well. So um, you're kind of doing two major deals here at the same time. Although the first time I ever saw something like this, I will admit, it does have the arms that come out, kind of like what you would have for a crane to help stabilize the vehicle when you're shooting the turret. And we don't have that here. But it's all for play and for fun, so we'll just kind of run with it. All right, unfortunately, we have easily broken and/or lost pieces. Regrettably, the missiles, the rockets, the seats, the missile launcher base, and the ATSV are easily lost or commonly missing. This has been featured in different mediums, especially comic books and trading cards and such, uh, commercials. So here we have the Rolling Thunder and what was that, the X-29 flying behind it. We do have the Rolling Thunder here as part of a card. So the Rolling Thunder has been called the ultimate ground defense weapon for ultimate fighting force, able to move quickly on any terrain and armed with enough firepower to put the jump on an entire battalion of Cobra. The machine is a 20-man portable arsenal that attacks at the sound of thunder. So they're seeing it's a 20-man. Um, I don't have that many people operating this. I will admit that. We have quite a few less on this. Now, this is 88, 30-year view. A Rolling Thunder was a J. Joe Mobile Land Fortress released by Hasbro in 88. Christmas season, virtually indestructible. This 8-wheel vehicle was heavily armed with gun stations, two Lightning rockets, bombs, uh, rockets and missiles. Its commander was Armadillo. Just kind of looking at it, I was just counting how many seats we have and everything else, trying to get this all figured out. Um, it does put a little bit of an interesting, how do we do this, right? Spin on how I kind of try and present this. Um, the vehicle mold was repainted or retooled to the following vehicles. There was no other usage of this. When it first was launched, it only cost just shy of $23. So, not overly expensive in today's day and age, but back then it was a fairly expensive vehicle. All right, so trying to bring this into our D6 universe, or GI Joe, Star Wars Galaxy, and all that. So, uh, what we have here is we have a vehicle. I'm figuring it's roughly going to be about 45 feet in length. This is another stab in the dark, just trying to say what is or isn't the actual length of this going to be. Uh, so I do have a crew of two. So we have a driver and kind of track commander, vehicle commander, whatever. And then we're going to have six different gunners. Uh, so I'm keeping this a little less than what we are seeing here. I don't have as many missiles on this as what we see here. So I'm kind of taking a little less on that. What we do have is we have two people in our tank turret, and then we have four people on each corner. And I figured our vehicle commander could be the one that's actually launching the missiles as well as our remote. And I have this missile launcher here as a remote sentry missile. Okay. I don't have any passengers being listed on this whatsoever. We do have 4 metric tons for different ammo, ammo or other munitions that we may need. Um, Given it a full coverage for anyone on here, I know that I'm just trying to slap on there one way or the other. If you're just the crew, the base crew in the front, you're going to be full covered. If you're other personnel, maybe a little less than that, but we're just going to consider full coverage. Altitude is going to be ground, of course. Maneuverability. This is a bigger vehicle. I don't think it's going to be quite as maneuverable, so it's a 1D plus 1. Being wheeled, it is going to be able to go 60 miles an hour or 96 kilometers an hour. I gave it a body strength of 4, being fairly resilient here at speeder scale. Of course, if you're taking tank hits or whatever, I think it'll probably be able to destroy this, but just kind of going with it at that. Um, so this is actually taken from the Mauler, the heavy blaster cannon. It's going to be on a turret. It's Walker scale. Fire control is going to be 4D, and we're going to have a 7D damage rating. And then we have 4 twin blaster cannons, which are the 4 turrets on the side. Now those are going to be at speeder scale. Fire control is going to be a 1D, and I figured damage is going to be 5D. So that's going to help repel anyone that's coming around, keep us safe from there. And then we also have our 2 cluster bomb missiles. Now I know that they call them something else, but the fact that we actually have little bombs inside there, I figured to just properly name it as these are missiles, but they're carrying cluster bombs. So they're going to be a vertical launch at Walker scale. We will have a fire control of 4D, and we're going to have a 7D damage to a 20 meter radius. 20 meter, not meteor. Oh, my mind is just shot, I swear. 20-meter radius. So wherever it lands, just 20 meters out from the center, it's just going to be obliterated. That's kind of my thought behind that. And then we're going to have 2 light repeating blasters. These are the 2 cannons that we see in the very front. And these are going to be by either, I don't know how we want to determine it, either fired by the commander or by the driver himself. Either way. So we're going to have front turrets, personnel scale, and again, it's going to be at 7D damage. So doing about the same as what our corner turrets are. Um, but these are, starting off at personnel scale, so your fire control will go up. And then we also have our scout vehicle. So we have our little scout vehicle. I don't know how well you see it here in the corner in the front. And I could not find any picture of this where it was all by itself. So not from yojo.com. That's usually where I get a lot of our pictures on all of our G.I. Joe stuff. So seeing that I could not find a separate picture or a picture I could just kind of squeeze down to that, we're just kind of left without a good picture. Although to me, it almost looks like Wheelie from Transformers. It looks like it's an upgraded size of Wheelie. I don't know if anyone else sees it that way or not, but there we are. So this is, again, going to be at speed or scale. I figured it's roughly going to be about 10 feet long. It's going to be a crew of one. No passengers. Although, really looking at it and thinking about it, it's almost like a John Deere Gator in that regard. So maybe what I should do, and maybe I'll do that, we'll have passengers of 4. Or passengers of 3. How about if I say that? So I don't have this as an amphibious vehicle, although if we were to do that, I could grab... We had the Bug. Let's see. How about if we go... I don't know what the actual speed is, so kind of bear with me. We're going to do this as 10 miles an hour. MPH here. Water. So if we do, we'll make this an amphibious. We'll change the Scout to Scout Amphibious Vehicle. And I don't know if I spelt it correctly, but I spelt it as best as I could. For the amphibious, I know my spelling is horrible. I will never say it's good. All right. So we are going to give it a 10 mile an hour water speed, seeing that it does look like it's like I said, a John Deere Gator that's an amphibious vehicle. So why not? We'll throw that in there. So we're giving that a body strength of 2D, and we're throwing a medium blaster cannon. This is at personnel scale. Fire control is going to be a 2D, and damage is 7D. So we have that. To add the missiles in here, now I did not add all these extra missiles that we see all over the place. I thought that was a little bit of an overkill, but what I did throw in is a deployable missile platform. This is going to be at speed or scale. It's going to be about 10 feet in length. It's going to be a one-man crew, but it's going to be by remote. And it itself is going to have a body strength of 1D. And it's going to have 8 concussion missiles. This is going to be considered a turret. Personnel scale. Fire control is going to be 2D, and we're going to be able to go out to 4 kilometers. So I'm throwing a little extra range on it. Just figured, hey, why not? And then we're going to give it a 7D damage. So I think that kind of gives us a wide range of what this is. This is almost like a dual attack platform / kind of base type weapon. The fact that on the move, we can use our glorified tank cannon as well as our other kind of corner turrets here to defend the system. But the big main demolitions it's got is going to be our cluster bomb missiles. So kind of keeping that all into that perspective, I think that we have a very good concept of what this really is meant to be. Between those 2 weapon systems right there, those are the main focus, but to help facilitate everything else, we now have the our amphibious scout vehicle as well as our deployable missile platform and that. So it's an interesting vehicle. For anyone that had this, I'm sure it was one heck of a play set. just trying to figure out how to encompass this into our system here. That's where things kind of get a little interesting here. So, with that being said, if you agree with it or disagree with it, let me know in the comments. It's always great to hear from you. Uh, it's all meant for fun. So here we are. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We'll see you in the next video.